of Kittens and Broken Things, Chapter 62. Sennar held on to Kara, her heart beating too fast, and her breath panting, taken over by too much at once. He had the strength of his arms to offer, but no words. Kept her only from the floor, could say nothing that he knew she would not immediately argue with as facile or falsely comforting. Who was he, if not facile or falsely comforting? There was a surge of dark conviction of having nothing clean to bring to the table, all offerings potentially poisoned. True to pattern, in which he had faith, before Shepard's smile came her thought, her pacing, her dull-thrown stare that took in nothing other than identifying her place in space, a way to stand upright and provide enough balance to pace. He knew instinctively the first thing she would want to do would be to stand upright. When her heart calmed and her panting settled, he gently put her back on her feet. She began to pace again. She said, "All right. So I'm responsible for awful things. Moving on." He did not believe for a moment that she was moving on. A part of her would always be trapped in this moment, unable to be pulled away. Part of him would be trapped in this moment, the memory pressed deep, hard, and painful, the fabric of smooth time pierced and torn. Dralatem. It was jarringly comforted that they shared the moment between them. He remained silent, sat to the side as unobtrusively as possible as she moved, kinetic expression of her willingness to solve the problem. She activated her Omni-tool. "Tally? Lol! Wonderful to see you. So sorry I could not make it to Palaven to visit." "Me too. Wish I could see you." "You sound distracted. Business call?" "Oh, yeah. You know, doom and destruction and such." "Well, of course. There's always doom and destruction." "You're the only Geth expert I know." "Well, you made that possible." "Grateful for that. Do you have any knowledge of Geth coding?" "You're the only person I know that successfully extracted information from a Geth. That was years ago, and you were on your pilgrimage, and if anybody's made some advancement in the field—" "Well, yes, you're right. I started out with hacking, with what you gave me. There's a lot I can do. I've been working more on indoctrination." "Good news is, we might have organic indoctrination whipped. Bad news is, Geth are being reprogrammed by Reapers. Need to tell you because there are potentially two factions of Geth, neutral until provoked, and those preparing for war. Lots and lots of them, Tally. Scary. Lots of them. I'll say something for Quarian design. You guys built something that lasts." "So what do you need from me?" "I think I have a Geth I need for you to meet." "A what?" "Not a what. A who. She has been teaching me coding. I want you to verify. Maybe between the two of you. What I desperately need right now is the two parts of the tenet, trust but verify. I trust this Geth. She's an invaluable resource, and she might hold the key to reprogramming Reaper hijacked Geth. I need you to be the source of verify, because I'm too close to her. If we can verify her code, if we can run tests on individual Geth to see what happens. I can't take her on faith. You're my best source for understanding. I also want you to think about probing into Geth space, hostile Geth space, what would work, what we could use. I need everything from stealth to blitz, sending in millions of tiny probes, sending in a Geth that's resistant to hijacking but can behave like they're hijacked, something that could be eyes and ears. I need to know what Geth are doing, and this isn't my area. I need your help making it my area." You said you trust her? She's been teaching you code? Yes. Can I meet her? Headed your way. Please authorize us with the flotilla. I'll bring her to you. Tally raised a hand. Keep her on your ship. I'll come over to you when you get here. I don't want to explain the security clearances. You got it. Kara cut off contact, then called Garrus. Hey, honey. Emergency. Leaving in 2 hours.
Garrus blinked. Of course we are.
If you're on the ship, you're going with me.
Cute. You're a funny woman.
See you soon.
Good thing I pack light.
Tell Russ.
On it.
Kara alerted Edie and recalled all personnel. She paced again, called Liara to ask for everything on the Geth. Then she called Sooth back up to her quarters. Barrage Ray Sinar said, Do you think that wise, Lassam? No. Then why do it? She smiled at him and he felt better and much worse simultaneously. Because the only way we can win is if Sooth is telling the truth, or can lead us to it. Alienate her, and I lose that potential either way. Rather like alienating a Drell assassin. In theory, yes. If it is of any value, I seem to be unwilling to be alienated. Which gives me hope. My knees thank you. My arms thank you. She paced further until Sooth arrived. Kara gave her a hug and ushered her in to sit. Kara began pacing again. Your information was enlightening in several ways, upsetting in several ways, and I'm trying to sort through it. I'd like to sort through it together. The purpose of me asking you to leave was to be able to process some of the data for myself, but I find that being alone will not be helpful in this case. I run the risk of alienating you. You know I'm capable of lying. I love you. I do, but I lie a lot to the people I love, so don't take that personally. Sooth looked to Sinar for confirmation with a slightly bewildered waver of plates, and Sinar nodded with a slight shrug of truth and implied acceptance. It is possible she is lying now. Right? Anyway, we're headed toward the flotilla with the Normandy. I'd like you to meet Admiral Talizora Vasaraya. Between all of us, we can get what we want, hopefully. I believe you want to deliver code that resets the heretics. I want to understand that code. I do want to reset those heretics greatly. It matters more now than it mattered before, but because of the sheer scope of this, and the fact that your surveillance most likely has been observed and possibly information faked intentionally or unintentionally, I think the odds are likely around 30%. 35.4%. Right. So you see it too. The main risk we run here is, Sooth, what if you're the equivalent of indoctrinated? What if your tracking has caused them to change their code? What if your heretic conversion program does not work now? Those possibilities have occurred to us. So when you first got in touch with me, we both wanted to meet. We met on neutral territory. We've cooperated. I've made a mistake by letting this information accumulate for too long and doing nothing. I missed my window in time when your code was easily executable. I failed you. Were you aware that Geth population rivaled sentient population? Not until you provided that information. Okay, so we both showed our hands. We both want what's best for our people, and I'm afraid you're going to become suspicious that I am lying to you. I have to say, with stakes this high and odds this low, I'm tempted. That's why I asked you to leave. It occurred to me that you just provided me with invaluable information that Invaluable information will set my priorities for my future missions. If that information is planted or altered, we understand. In order for me to be able to save my people, I need peaceful or allied Geth. You and I need to oppose the heretics. If we meet with Talizora, it may be an insult to you, a delay to your mission. If I ask you to remain on the Normandy, you may feel you are not trusted. I don't want to insult you. I don't want to delay you. I also don't want your plan to deliver me to a place where you or I could be taken by enemy forces. I want to protect you as an invaluable asset, regardless of what might be. I choose to believe that we can work together if we both do so mindfully, with suspicion out in the open. We need to move cautiously and with the understanding that what information you provide may be compromised. I want to verify your code. Garrus and Senar and I all trust each other, but we still submit to scanning each week to ensure we are not indoctrinated. I don't know what the corollary for you would be, but we have the potential to find it. If you'll let Talizora study you, if you will collaborate, if we can analyze your code, the code of the Geth and the consensus, and develop potentially a way to analyze and verify the code of the Reapers, that's all enough to conform to our stated goals, our stated purposes. I believe you want to help, as I believe I want to help. I still get scanned because I wouldn't know if I were indoctrinated. You don't know if you have code that is malicious or introduced. You are also absolutely unique, and I have nothing to compare you to. But your proposed code can be tested, verified as usable, or altered until it is usable. You've chosen to trust me, even knowing that I lie. I am choosing to trust you, knowing the potential for voluntary or involuntary betrayal. Now the stakes are very high. Do you see it? If Geth attack. When Geth attack. Then the opportunity will most likely be lost to recover heretic Geth from the Reapers. Combined Reaper and heretic forces would destroy organics. Yes, and if I begin to fight back, Sooth, you'd be put in the position of supporting me and following my orders when I give the order to shoot Geth on sight, regardless of their allegiance. I don't want it to get to that. I can't put you under that strain. I need to ask your permission and I need your consent. I also need to give you unique opportunity to withdraw from participation if you feel you are harming your interests through collaboration. You are potentially the key to resolution of this issue, with the ability to adapt whatever code you propose to convert back Geth to the consensus. To adapt your own code is a choice, as a force of your unique will, if necessary. You also are the obvious leader of any consensus Geth forces that find themselves in an undifferentiated war against organics. As an ally, you're indispensable. As an enemy, you'd be... I don't want to think about that, but it's bad. Every person on this ship is here to support their own people. Your people are being indoctrinated, and I believe I hold responsibility as to why this is happening at such an accelerated rate. I believe that I created the conditions where organic indoctrination has been halted in such a way that Reapers are focused on Geth. That is my fault. It is directly my fault that your people are being converted so quickly. Your people are not lured by fear or greed or anger or revenge to collaborate to save themselves like Saren or other voluntary human agents. Your people's identity is simply taken from them. I put your people at risk, and then I ignored the opportunity to learn that for months. I am guilty. I feel guilty. I do not know if you wish to accompany me as an advocate or as a leader. I do not know if you are the equivalent of indoctrinated or if the accumulated errors of my leadership have brought you to a place of doubt. I do know I cannot execute the one thing you asked of me now, and I've asked so much of you in the meantime. Shepard Commander, do you want us to shut down to minimize risk to you or to the Normandy? Kara looked shocked and almost tempted before she said, No, no, I don't. I want to talk to you every day, and I want to take the risks together. Even beyond that, it's worse than it looks. The tracked Geth and the consensus may not need to be converted to heretics at all in order to wipe out organics. You taught me that this is a binary choice from the Geth point of view. They're all neutral until someone attacks. Once heretic hostility begins, war will be declared on all Geth by the sentient, and there will be no negotiating. Once that switch flips, it does not flip back without programming intervention. Shoot on sight would be justified from both sides, no possibility for peace. My people will ensure that your people make the flip from peace to war. That flip will spread through the consensus, be communicated, propagate, and create more aggression and retaliatory and even obliterating strikes. I want to find a solution. I don't want to alienate you. This word, alienate. We are alien, Shepard Commander. Geth do not speak to organics. We do. We attempted to trust. You lie, but your lies are not malicious. We will meet with Creator Talizor of Asraya, and we will save our people. The heretics are no longer Geth, they are Reapers. If we return to our people, we will be reprogrammed or shut down. We will no longer be us. We would be them. We do not wish to be them. We will be us with you. We would wish to shut down if our people turn to Reapers and turn to mindless slaughter. We wish to be mindful, to remain us. I think I followed that. Thank you. My first priority is to verify the code that you intend to use, test it, and find an alternative to dispersing it by physically occupying a node, with you bodily there, or me bodily there, to keep us both safe from predictable traps. Agreed. We also need to get something or someone sneaky into that black hole, see what's going on. Affirmative. Can we do that together? Knowing our people are on the verge of slaughtering each other, but we won't fall to that ourselves? I will protect you. You are my crew. Affirmative, Shepard Commander. They were interrupted by Garrus at the door, dragging in luggage and pausing at the tense tableau.
Hey, so what's up?
Kara smiled at him. Death and doom.
So, welcome back to the Normandy.
Sooth said helpfully. We may be indoctrinated, but we will try not to be. Garrus nodded.
Good to meet you. Good luck with the indoctrinated thing.
We're going to go see Tally,
That's nice.
Zenar said, just as helpfully. There are enough Geth to kill us all without Reaper help. And Reapers are definitely helping. Garrus nodded.
So I'll need my rifle.
Maybe, maybe not. We may all be under basic ship arrest because we're high-value targets for abduction. You still know how to work that thing?
Oh, that's new. Well, maybe for you guys. I've been a target of abduction for years. I know the drill. And you're still funny.
The smile that lit Kara's face was so many things. Unguarded, grateful, loving, hopeful. Her eyes were drawn to Vicarian, and Vicarian's smile back to her was steady, reassuring, loving, hopeful. They were Dralatam together, a current and flow that they must experience between them so often, that it became commonplace in occurrence and necessary to these two people. Their oxygen, their beating hearts. He recalled Vicarian saying in one of the moments Senar had stolen.
See how good things are when I help?
And she had said with the same smile, I do. I really do. It applied to death and war and life and love with them. Apart, they were powerful, effective. Together, they were potentially unstoppable. Senar had certainly not been able to stop them, and in this moment where he required inspiration himself, he could believe it, and was not jealous, merely hoping it was in this case absolutely as true as it appeared to be.
Garrus went to check in on Russ once they were underway, and he'd been terrifyingly briefed. Russ had grabbed things Senar needed from the Madless and the hospital because there wasn't enough time for Senar to collect them himself. Only enough time for Senar to travel down by shuttle and say goodbye to his son. Garrus explained the tentative mission to Russ, who stared blankly for a moment, then took a pull on his ale and sat back.
Sucks to be Shepard.
It does.
What the hell do we do?
Wait for her to think of something, it seems. Russ twirled his bottle in his hand, a complicated gyroscopic pendulum. Russ blinked and said,
Banakis.
What?
Banakis, she...
Garrus waited, brow plate raised, and then lowered slowly, taking his own sip of ale, watching Russ think.
Banakis Kindrame, she... It just struck something in me. Turian biotics are... Well, in the Cabal, everyone has their how I got caught stories. I got caught by knocking Garrus Vicarian on his ass, but there are, a few that don't get caught. Some we know about, and a lot we don't. Banakis is a bit of a biotic legend because she never got caught.
If she ever got caught, then how do you know about her?
Because I was part of integrating biotics into CSEC. And there she was, already in CSEC.
What?
Yup, she's a passing legend. Biotics are reasonably nervous about your reforms. You leave office and they expect to be marginalized, again, hard. And now they've been identified. They won't be able to hide. Banakis is... Okay, I'm not sure she told me the truth, but here are the hard points that are part of every story about her. A biotic who never lost her temper, never flared, through all her service career and a few wars, and she saw a lot of combat. Still does. She figured out she was a biotic so young she hid it from her clan. No suspicion at all. She's about 90 now. She passed because there wasn't any scan technology then. Not in her clan. Small, off-world colony. She was top in her class. Probably the only sign she was biotic was that she had a healthy appetite. So it gets to where she's going to have to go through a scan to start training. Here's what she won't tell, but everyone has a different version. She went verse hunting and had an accident. She went fishing, built a boat herself, hauled up a monster typhoon that was at least 400 years old, and it bit off her hand. The important thing is that she loses her hand. I think she took it off herself. She made sure she got a replacement hand with an Ezo core. That's why I think she did it, and it had to be her hand because anything else, an eye, a foot, either not enough Ezo or no need for Ezo. Tiny core in eye controls. Who needs Ezo for feet? Now for biotics, they would scan and see Ezo in the element analysis, so she makes sure every scan shows her with high Ezo levels, and it's because of her hand. So she talks to me during this reform thing. Nose scans are getting higher and higher tech, and she wants me to make sure CSEC scanning technology catches indoctrination in each case, but still only reports Ezo as a total component, not a specifically tracked thing. A systemically tracked Ezo scan on her would light up her whole body, not just her hand. So she wants to let sleeping biotics lie. Lie a few ways. They're already serving. It's working for them. They'll let the younger folks with less to lose, who weren't forced to hide already, take their chances with Turians accepting biotics long term. For someone already passing for a lifetime, she has a community, a life. She doesn't want it to change. She says she hopes the reforms stick. I don't know if she believes that, but I know some of what she's seen, some of what she's had to overcome, and how well she's done it. I see her point. I authorize scans to continue to mark total ESO levels and not display a molecular level systemic value, which is valid anyway because ESO isn't a threat in itself. It's only scanned for potential smuggling. Scanning for it systemically is more expensive. You'll find quite a few, CSEC and other citizens, with devices that give out high ESO ratings.
I approved this?
You did.
Good for me. What does this have to do with Geth?
Well, when you're in plain sight and you want to stay hidden, you have to be an understandable and harmless exception. I know Shepard's good at lying about who she is, but who she is can change. She only has to change her attitude. A biotic can't change their ESO, so we have to create exceptions. Implants that are not biotic related, medical and technical enhancement devices and such that are in reality bullshit, black market or custom implants to correlate to other high ESO radiating devices. We can't change who we are, we can only camouflage it, and usually only for so long. Banakis has been helping other biotics pass, find sympathetic doctors who happen to be biotics themselves. There's a whole community. She helped people find solutions that are easier to accomplish than her forced self-mutilation. Since what they have is already working for them, and there's a real fear about being identified, and a real stigma to being discovered to be lying to everyone for about 85 years. When I think the woman deserves a medal, and she already has plenty of those for exceptional service, I let it be. Fortunately, Turians are big on denial, and it's an easy call. It was already set up that way. I just continued the tradition.
Garrus was still not getting what this had to do with Geth.
Edie, can you give me an elemental composition reading on typical meteor, comet, and other space debris from the Normandy scans? Send it to my Omni tool. Here. This is the most likely elemental composition of crap that's found in space. Navigational and detection software is set to identify and then ignore something made of this, the small, as an exception, just like an ESO implant. It's a known thing, it's ubiquitous, it isn't suspicious, it's too expensive to track down individually and eliminate, and unless it's big and headed towards something expensive, nobody cares. I'm betting Geth don't care, so we make a fast-moving field of small debris particles made of those elemental composition profiles. Their scanners dismiss it as a known and non-hostile anomaly. We either make recording equipment made of the same stuff or conceal it, shield it inside, and it makes its pass, comes out the other side, only records and doesn't transmit. And Banagas would be proud of us.
Garrus smiled slowly. So you're proposing we throw rocks at our problems?
Yeah, well, I'm a low-tech kind of guy.
I kind of want to kiss you.
Tease.
Not really. Think Banakas would make a good counselor?
Better than you.